What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, aka No Cap Podcast. Your boy Evan, your boy Will on the other side, and our special guest tonight, Wyatt Sullivan, tight end out of USF. Man, you guys just got a great hire over there, huh? How you feeling about some guys they want to get out of there as soon as their coach leaves them, but I'm guessing you're probably sticking around here for a little while, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely considering it, man. If you look at his track record, he's been a winner everywhere he went. Developed a lot of talent. So it's a lot to hear, man. A lot to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And especially just how the cultural aspects of everything, it's you go where you can play and you go where you can get a bag. So kind of, after such a great successful season for USF as a whole, how do you, look at yourself and where your development's gotten to? Like, how's it gone? Plus transferring from FAU where you had to deal with injuries and getting back on the field to now, this is probably your first full season that you've had healthy and play every game and all that, isn't it?
No, yeah, last year I
Oh,
played.
last year, yeah, last year. That's right, that's right. So, how did it feel about this year being so, with regards to so great compared to, being at FAU those first couple of years, now being able to, I guess you'd say, I don't want to say in a winning culture, but because FAU did not have a winning culture, but they were struggling. But, for you now being a part of this, how this year compared to the other one so far?
The biggest thing is definitely the winning, and just being able to win at such a high level, like being in crowded stadiums. We got a chance to play Boise State first game, and
Yep, that was a great one.
got a chance to beat North Texas, Florida, playing some loud crowds, even the Miami game, even though that didn't go the way we wanted it to go. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people out,
yeah.
so just being able to play with a lot of talent too, Byron Brown, Keyshawn, Chaz,
Oh,
Jeremiah,
yeah.
list goes on. But it was
So you're playing in your first bowl game this season, right? That's got to be exciting.
definitely,
Um, what would you say the biggest thing has been like between coming from FAU and struggling in those years? Obviously, it was evident the team was struggling to now kind of seeing that success and getting a taste of it. 9-3 this season. Looking forward to the bowl. Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
the main thing was just the learning process. It was obviously a new offense, new people to get adjusted to. But another
For
big thing
sure.
is learning, like what it's like to be a winner and how, like, the players treat each other. The player to coach dynamic, because it's a lot different than coming from a program where winning isn't as common.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I mean, that I was gonna say the winning is so like I feel like it's underappreciated in our college rankings now, even at the group of five schools. Like winning does matter. Like having a winning culture, even at the group of five level, does matter. Like you don't, yeah, it just makes everything so much better. Like you can have a great culture and have a losing season, that's cool. Like when you have a winning culture and a great season, it's like your program just is takes levels off of what you can get to. So again, kind of where you're at now in your career and being able to develop and kind of see from FAU, Conference USA, or American, or were they Conference USA at your time?
They're
They
conference
were
year,
American.
first year, but they're American.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And then now you're American at USF, which at this point, if USF keeps doing what they're doing, they might not be American for too long. So be
Yeah.
interesting to see how that turns out within the coming years. But give us a little bit about your journey and kind of how you've gone from Georgia to Boca, and then kind of walk us through the Wyatt Sullivan story and kind of give everyone one how you had to deal with injuries through your first few years, because most people probably don't even know that you were dealing with injuries, and then secondly the transfer to, I guess you could say, a rival school at the time. But obviously you consider USF would have been big brother to them. But being now where you are, and then kind of what you're hoping to get out of these next few years with regards to USF, you guys are getting your own stadium, playing at NFL stadium. I know some guys, how do you feel on that? How did it feel playing at, the Buccaneers Stadium versus now, kind of having your own home turf per se?
You know, playing at the NFL stadium, it's always cool to like see like how big the stadium is and like just certain things you'd never see without playing in one, like the NFL locker room, like what it looks like behind the
Yep.
scenes and stuff like that. The interview rooms, the training rooms, stuff like that, the showers. So that's cool, but the only downside is obviously it's harder to fill an NFL
Oh,
stadium.
always.
So a game that would be super crowded at like a smaller stadium, like any other team in our conference stadium, would be like
Right.
a kind of just regular crowd at our stadium. So it
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of expected.
I mean, too, because of FAU. I mean, look at FAU. I mean, having your own stadium and not, I mean, they used to have to drive to Lockhart Stadium back in the day, so it's like to have, the home field for you guys, definitely you could tell already makes a difference. And for you guys, definitely, not to say you guys can't fill it, but it's like even Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a hard time filling it. So
Yeah,
it's like, even as good, you guys can go undefeated and it'd still probably be pretty hard to fill an NFL stadium at the college ranking. So it's not anything to do with you
can't
guys.
even fill that stadium. Like I don't remember the
But
last
again,
time.
winning matters.
I remember
Winning
the last
matters.
time that stadium was full. Like Lane
Lane Kiffin was the coach.
now I remember it was full when my freshman year we played UCF.
That's right. That
Yeah, well,
was a
UCF
UCF home game. Yeah, that was a UCF home game. That was a home game. That's why we were there. That was the first game you let somebody up.
Yeah.
That was that first game. The first
Our
game I
first
come
time
to,
we
all
did.
of a sudden, all I see is Wyatt just crush somebody.
My gosh, it's literally, oh my gosh, that's so
Oh,
funny. But that's
so
a
funny.
good point. Just going from that NFL stadium to you are getting your own stadium in 2027, that'll be pretty cool. Where is it supposed to be? On campus?
Yes, it's right next to the IPF, the indoor practice facility.
Yeah,
Okay.
as I say, it's right next door. Yeah. So,
Okay.
but yeah,
So
getting back to
circle
your,
back, yeah, I want to circle
yeah,
back to your journey. Start off in high school. Give us a little background. How you came up and how you ended up landing at FAU initially.
I was playing basketball at Beaver High School in Georgia, and then some things happened. I ended up transferring to a school in Tallahassee, and I was playing football and basketball there. And I got recruited like doing 7-on-7 tournaments and stuff like that after not really playing football in high school. I played earlier in middle school, but I ended up getting recruited by Hines Ward at FAU, signed to Hines Ward and Willie Taggart and their crew. Was hurt in high school, but didn't really understand like what it was, so I just kept playing. And then around like early in my freshman season, I just couldn't run, and I got an MRI, and I didn't get like my MRI back until the new staff had came. They fired Tag after a year, and
right.
I found I had to get surgery on Christmas, so I was there on Christmas getting surgery, and I had a labrum tear, hip avulsion fracture, and I don't even remember. It was like
Uh,
three other
as I
like
say, you had
things.
like 3 different things going on.
Golly.
And they just shut it
Yeah.
down. And I got cleared like late summer, going into my redshirt freshman year, and
Right.
then I pulled my hamstring, and then I was out for basically all fall camp to like that last fall camp, and then I was just battling to get on the field that whole year, and then I was finally healthy the next spring, and I was starting in that spring, and then I started all last year. Had a
Right.
decent season. We had a lot of struggles on offense. We had a lot going on,
Yeah.
and ended up coming here and having a pretty good season.
What does that do for you mentally on both fronts of the injury? How did the injury kind of shape your mentality now, as well as the struggles that you had throughout your time at FAU, offensively?
Um, I don't even know how to answer that question. I mean,
My bad. Just talk about the injury. Like, tell me, what has it been like for you? Because we had Marlon on the show, and Marlon dealt with injuries. He tore his ACL, and then he tore
Yep.
his other ACL. He kind of talked a little bit towards his mentality, trying to fight back from that. But for you, dealing with the labrum tear, and then also your hamstring injury. Like, what was your mentality going through that, trying to get back on the field?
Really just I learned more than anything. Like, I did my rehab with a guy named Jamal Edger was there at the time, and he just used to always motivate me to come in there and just keep working. And then, eventually, I was really undersized my freshman year. I was playing receiver and then switched to tight end. So just not running and not and having to lift all day and being kind of bedridden allowed me to gain a lot of weight. So it was a blessing in that sense. Like I got to get my weight up significantly. And then just the consistency you have to do to get healthy when you're rehabbing. Like you gotta rehab be consistent with it every day to get back on track. So just that kind of helped me with just my process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean at the pro level, you can't miss your rehab. Like you don't get to just skip. You gotta be in the training room every day. You gotta be with the trainer every day. You gotta be fixing whatever it is that's injured. You gotta be getting it fixed. You gotta get it get it handled, and so that way you can get back on the field. So obviously injuries is part of the game, but you just gotta be able to, like you said, just get in the training room, get it done, get it fixed, and get back on the field. So yeah, I mean it's. For you, I mean, especially putting on the weight, we talked about that even when you first got to FAU and how we needed to get you up there, needed to eat more, I mean, like you said, blessing in disguise. That who thought sitting on the couch trying to just not eat your face off, being bored, you're stuffing your face with food, and now you're finally at the weight you want to be at. So that's too funny. But going on transferring now, because, I mean, you're the first, you would be like the first group of college players that came in with the transfer portal available, like right off the bat. Like you could have transferred your freshman year without any penalties or anything, right?
Right.
Like after, so it's like, give us a little bit on now your mentality towards how you feel with not just yourself, but more so like the team aspects. How does it make you feel with guys, kind of in and out throughout the years? Like, yeah, you transferred, but you also had a coaching staff change. Like you had some other stuff that didn't really just like, you weren't chasing a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like you transferring for the betterment of your career path. So it's like, give me the kind of what your thoughts on it as just like a player in general. Because who knows, next year you might have a bunch of different guys around you, not just from guys graduating, but a completely different transfer portal group. So kind of give us your thought process on that and what you think. I mean, obviously at the pro level, that can happen at any time with regards to free agency. But, we talk at that level, you're also got your veterans who are signed to 4 or 5 year deals that aren't going anywhere. So with this, you're kind of 1 year deals, and it's like you could have an entire new tight end room next year. So what's your thoughts on that? And do you think I guess I wouldn't say good or bad, but what's your, personal opinion being a part of it, I guess?
It's been like that since I've gotten into college, so it's really
the whole time.
my opinion of it. I mean, every year is an independent year. Every year is an independent group, so it's like you don't even really expect anybody to come back. Whoever's there.
You don't even know what it is not to have a transfer portal, right? So
so every year
that's great.
30, 40 guys, 30, 40 guy turnaround. So, and almost every year I've had a different coach, different whole room. So it's just that's how it is in college football. So it's kind of like the league. Like every year, you don't know where you're going to be. You don't know where everybody else is going to be.
Yeah. The only thing I can say to that is that it must keep you hungry at the bare minimum, because if you're bringing in 30, 40 guys, like you said, every year, then you're always fighting for a spot, damn near, and you're always trying out for a new coach too. If you're saying that a new coach is coming in every year, then it's like there's no real security besides what you did last year, and even what you did last year might not be enough to a new coach who's like, I'm not really feeling it.
I can find somebody better. I'll go to the portal. I'll get somebody better. That's everyone thinks it's always greener on the other side till they bring that kid in. They're like, this is what we brought in. This is what we got. Like,
it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day.
For sure.
It keeps you hungry as a player, but then again, it can just also just turn by the fact that the staff turned over or whatever the case is. So
Yeah, I
I guess
mean,
it keeps
why?
competition high, but morale might not be that high. I know that going back to our episode with Marlon, he kind of talked about once they started NIL and all that, there were no more player-led meetings and things of that nature. I don't know if that's something that you looked forward to or something that you even had. He mentioned that it was something that they had at FAU when he was there. But I just think that nowadays, okay, so how do you feel college football in general as a player is trending? You think that they're trending in a good direction with all the new rules about transfer portal NIL, or you have some sour thoughts on it?
I think the transfer portal isn't even the biggest problem. I feel like the biggest problem is the coaching changes. You know, I feel like there's no reason a coach should be able to leave during a season unless you're fired.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I agree with that.
So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big problem. But I feel like the transfer portal, you know, they obviously have put a lot of regulations on that. But I feel like, you know, the coaching changing needs some regulations set. And then you can talk about the transfer portal because it's already too far going. The money's already on the table. People already have contracts. So they just got to make it more like the NFL, make everything public. So everything's not a secret and everything's not just speculation. So it's not as big.
That's a good take. That's a good take. It's true. And even nowadays, like we look at 247 and all those different website on 7, and they
On
try
3.
to like show like an NIL tracker of like how much money they think. I don't know where they're pulling the numbers from, but they try to find how much money they think these
It's
players are
their
getting.
algorithm. Their on 3 algorithm that they figured out how much
Yeah,
everyone's valuation is.
I have no idea how much anybody's get paid.
They don't none of them know anything. They
Yeah.
don't know anything. They think they know they don't know anything.
The only people that know are DMs at the schools.
That's it. They're the only ones.
Now, on
And
the note of getting paid in NIL, don't want to get into too much specifics, but for you personally, when or if you get paid, do you feel kind of like an attachment or like you owe an allegiance to the team that's paying you? Or is it still in your mind like you're going to do what's best for you at the end of the day?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's business, you know. But when this is the football season, you know, you're doing everything you can to obviously win games. You know, put yourself at an advantage to try to get yourself to the NFL. You know, so you plan as hard as you're going to play in every game, and then after the season, you evaluate, you know, what's best for you, and go somewhere else. But there's no allegiance to any schools or any brands or logos. It's just allegiance to your team while you're on the team.
yeah, right. And I think that's kind of what Will, you were saying earlier about where the trend of college athletes has turned to. I believe that's why it just nailed it on the head right there with that regard. Like you can't like Wyatt first said about the coaching changes. It's hard to sit here and say, like, as a, let's just say a freshman or a sophomore, that the guy recruited you, you go and you have this, let's say 9-3 season. And then he's like, all right, well, I know you still have 2 more years, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave you midway through the second season. And then I'm out, and you guys will get a new coach and you'll have to figure out where you're going next, or, you know, if you stay or if you have a position next year, because the new guy might not even like you. So
Right.
that trend of the loyalty to the school, I think, is gone by the wayside. But I also don't believe I fault any college player for that. Like I don't look at college players and like be like, oh, it's the kid's fault. It's the college ball player's fault. Like, no, it's the school's fault for allowing it to get to this point. It's the NCAA's fault allowing a coach to literally go and say, hey, look, good luck the rest of the year. I'm heading out. Like that's where it's gotten to be. Why? And again, I'm biased because being Wyatt's agent and everything. You look at it from the conception of, we don't really know who's loyal to who on the back end because the numbers are hidden. We don't know who's getting paid what unless somebody tells us,
Right.
or the GM says something. So again, for Wyatt, I mean, like I said, he nailed it on the head on that one.
For sure. It's definitely tricky these days. As a player, you just go out there and play.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do, and like you said a couple minutes ago, you're just doing what you need to do to get to the next step, which is the NFL, obviously.
League.
How many more years of eligibility do you have? 2?
Got one.
Just one. So this is going to be your senior. Okay. But so maybe I'm confused. So you took your red shirt though.
Yeah. Well, I technically had a medical year. I technically still have a red shirt.
Okay. Got it. So looking into your senior year, I know it's a little bit of a ways away. You still got to finish this season. But what's something that you're really looking forward to showcasing or improving going into the next year?
Just and stepping up on showing what I can do with the ball in my hands, just having more opportunities to have the ball in my hands and just be a bigger part of the offense.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, especially your position, you know, being the transition to tight end now, like you are definitely like a focal point in most offenses, even in the NFL. Like, obviously, they all have their star wide receivers, but like every good offense in the league has a star tight end or has a tight end that contributes a lot to their
Definitely.
offense. So for you, and then we had this conversation years ago when you were starting to transition of how that position is, you know, for you at the time was kind of a stretch because we were still growing. But now looking back, thank God we did it because you've turned into this, you know, great athletic blocking tight end, and that's literally what every team is looking for. So it's like you've basically turned into the prototypical tight end, you know, on the D1 group of 5 power 5 tight end to kind of lead, be athletic enough to make it in the NFL. So, you know, kudos to you and your ability to put yourself in that position because now, like you said, you got your senior year to showcase exactly what you can do with the ball. And again, depending on how you feel with USF and, you know, the ability to be in Brian Hartline's offense, you know, it could be, you know, right up your alley. So, you know, again, that'll be another topic of conversation we'll have to have privately. But, you know, for you at this point, you're right there, man. You're in the capability of, you know, one more good season. I mean, you did, I think you were averaging like 10 plus yards a catch. So
It was.
yeah, were you okay? So
Yeah.
again, 10 yards a catch. I mean, from a tight end perspective, you can't ask much more from your tight end if you're getting, you know, 2 catches every game. Yeah, and you're getting 10 yards every catch. You can't. What else do you want from the man? Like so.
100%, especially if you throw the blocking in there too. Blocking and being able to make plays without the ball in your hand too. You put that all together.
That's it.
Sounds like a good player to me.
I was gonna say that's the position in and of itself. You know, no block, no rock.
Right.
So
what was it like transitioning? Like, was it difficult for you to go from receiver to tight end?
It was just the physicality part. You know, it's hard to block when you're smaller. So just
you were like 195 pounds.
Yeah, so that's the main thing.
What are you at now?
Yeah, like 245, 246.
I was gonna say 250. No, 240.
I'm 246. 248. I was 246 last time I got on the scale.
All right. I was close. I said 250 before.
I have to ask now. What do you eat? What does a day of eating look like for you?
Just a lot, you know, a lot of shakes, a lot of meals that they give us, and then meal prepping. You know, steak, rice, chicken rice, beans. That's the main thing.
Eat them up.
Yeah. Good for you. That's in what 50 pounds in what span of time? 2 years?
Like
3 years?
Really?
Year and a half?
No, 2 years.
Yeah, well, he's saying year and a half,
2 years.
so we'll say year and a half. We'll say year and a half.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, 18 months of, you know, hard eating. I mean, it's nice to be able to, you know, also, you know, be able to put yourself into a, you know, consistency where you are able to grow and just continually, you know, be on point with everything. Cause it's like, that's the biggest thing, even getting to the next level is it's not necessarily there's a big difference of you as a tight end versus somebody else as a tight end, but it's the consistency and everything else that makes you, you know, that much better. You know, the ability to, you know, be consistent in your on the field stuff, being consistent on the off the field stuff, being consistent on your training regiment, your pregame regiment, you know, all that stuff, you know, that all comes down to, you know, what makes you that much better than the next guy. Go ahead, Will.
Do you enjoy the gym? Because like I know some football players like don't like the gym, but like do you enjoy like getting in the gym?
Nah, definitely. You know, it's necessary to get better. So anything to get better, I'm a fan of.
True.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's impressive though. Like I gotta obviously give you your flowers on that. Obviously, you have a great nutrition staff around you, whether it was at FAU or USF, but to be able to come up on all that weight in that span of time, and I'm sure most of it's probably muscle. So that's good on you for sure. Speaking of that, you know, as we kind of wrap up things here, I just want to throw out if you want to give some words of advice to those kids that are looking to come up that are in high school right now or maybe earlier years in college, what kind of advice you'd give to them to try to get to that next level.
Just stay consistent. You are what you do every day. So if you work hard some days and are lazy for most of the week, you know, you're lazy. So if you want to be somebody that's successful, be successful every day. You just stack days, man. And don't get mad at your coaches. Everything's going to work out. Just keep doing what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do. I mean, that's literally nailed it on the head again. I mean, again, you're just consistency, being able to stack days, because that's all at the end of the day. If you're lazy the day before and you're lazy the next day and you're lazy the next day, it's just going to end up being, you know, you put yourself into a hole. So, you know, you gotta get better every day. And I think we've always had that conversation of how to do it, and, you know, doing what you can control and controlling what you do best, you know. So for you, you know, I'm glad to have been a part of this journey, and, you know, watching you literally grow to be at this level, you know, being in, you know, watching you rehab, you know, watching you go through the struggle, you know, getting, you know, back on the field to finally, you know, finding some love at USF and getting your on the field moments and stuff. So it's definitely been great to watch this year as well, even though, you know, a couple of UCF guys here, you know, just having to watch a USF game now, it's just whatever. But, you know, go Bulls, you know.
Hey, good for them. I can't believe you just did that, Evan, but
whatever.
I'll say go Bulls.
It's West Boca. Sure, let's go. West Boca.
I'm
used to.
I'm not putting that owl.
Yeah. Will's got his master's from FAU.
I'm not putting that up either. So.
Yeah, you and Y can throw up your little hoo-hoo.
Hell no. Hell no.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up for the evening. Yeah. Wyatt, we appreciate you, man. We'll end it on that. Yeah, Wyatt, we you know, it's all love over here. You know, always thank you for repping LSC and everything out there as well. You know, we always appreciate you, and mom and dad as well. You know, you tell them I say hey and everything. So, you know, my family always appreciates you as well. So, you know, we'll wrap it up for this episode. So for another episode of No Client Agent Privilege, with your boy Will, your boy Evan, and our special guest, tight end Wyatt Sullivan out of USF. Wyatt, thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a good night.
All right, peace.